You know that feeling when you check your bank account and instead of that familiar wave of dread, you actually feel something different, something you haven't felt in a long time. Calm, not rich, not set for life, just calm. Like maybe, just maybe, you're going to be okay. That feeling has a price tag, and it's probably a lot lower than you think. Most people believe you need 6 figures saved before money stops controlling your life. Financial influencers throw around numbers like $100,000 or $1 million, like those are the only milestones that matter. But here's what nobody's talking about. There's a much smaller number that creates the first real shift, and that number is $5,000. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, financial psychology, and why some people break free from financial stress while others stay trapped in the same cycle for years. If you want to understand the real mechanics behind building financial stability instead of just hoping your situation magically improves, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it ends up helping you see things differently. Now, before we get into why $5,000 specifically, let me paint you a picture of what life looks like without it. You know that moment when your phone buzzes with a bank notification and your stomach drops before you even read it, or when your car makes a weird noise and your first thought isn't what's wrong with it, it's how am I going to pay for this? That's not just stress, that's your brain operating in full survival mode every single day. And survival mode is expensive, not just emotionally, financially too. Here's what actually happens when you're living with zero savings. Your brain cannot think long term. It physically cannot. When psychologists study people under financial stress, they find something remarkable. The mental bandwidth consumed by money anxiety is equivalent to losing an entire night of sleep every single day. You're making decisions about your career, your relationships, your future, while operating at a serious cognitive deficit. And the cruel irony is that the decisions you make from that place almost always make your financial situation worse. But something shifts at $5,000, and it's not what you'd expect. The shift isn't in your bank account, it's in your brain. Researchers have found that even a small financial cushion fundamentally changes how your nervous system responds to daily stress. Your cortisol levels drop, your decision-making improves, you start sleeping better, and perhaps most importantly, you stop making fear-based financial decisions that keep you stuck. Think about the last time an unexpected expense hit you. Maybe it was a medical bill. Maybe your laptop died at the worst possible moment. Maybe your landlord raised your rent with 30 days notice. Without savings, each of these events isn't just inconvenient. It's a genuine crisis that derails your entire financial plan for months. But when you have $5,000 sitting in your account, these same events become problems instead of catastrophes. And there's an enormous difference between a problem and a catastrophe. A problem you can solve. A catastrophe controls you. Here's where the math gets interesting. $5,000 covers the vast majority of financial emergencies that derail regular people. The average car repair costs between $500 and $2,000. Most unexpected medical bills fall under $3,000. Even a sudden job loss becomes survivable when you have $5,000 buying you time to find something better instead of desperately accepting the first offer that walks through the door. You're not rich at $5,000. But you're no longer one bad day away from financial disaster, and that changes everything about how you move through the world. But here's the part that surprises most people. The biggest transformation that happens at $5,000 has nothing to do with emergencies at all. It has to do with opportunity. When you're broke, opportunities look like risks. A certification program that could boost your salary looks like an expense you can't afford. A chance to invest in something promising looks like gambling with money you don't have. A better job in a different city looks like a terrifying leap into the unknown. But when you have $5,000 behind you, those exact same opportunities start looking like opportunities again. The facts haven't changed. Your financial foundation has. Now let's talk about something nobody in personal finance likes to admit. Getting to $5,000 is genuinely hard. Not because the math is complicated. The math is simple. It's hard because it requires you to become a different version of yourself before you see any real results. You have to say no to things that feel harmless in the moment. You have to delay gratification repeatedly, consistently, for months. You have to keep going when the progress feels invisible. Most people quit somewhere in the middle, not because they're lazy or irresponsible, but because they're trying to white-knuckle their way to a goal without understanding why it actually matters. Here's what makes the difference. The people who successfully save their first $5,000 stop treating saving as a sacrifice and start treating it as an identity. They don't say, "I can't afford that." They say, "That's not who I am right now." That subtle shift from restriction to identity is everything, because restrictions feel like punishment, but identity feels like purpose. And here's the beautiful thing about $5,000 specifically. It's achievable on almost any income if you're intentional about it. Saving $200 per month gets you there in just over 2 years. $400 per month cuts that timeline to just over a year. Most people have more flexibility in their monthly spending than they realize, not because they're wasteful, but because they've never actually tracked where every dollar goes. The average American spends over $2,500 per year on subscriptions alone. That's money quietly leaving your account every single month for things you forgot you were even paying for. But here's where most people completely mess this up. They hit $5,000 and they spend it. The car they've been eyeing, the vacation they feel they've earned, the new phone because theirs is 2 years old. And just like that, they're back to zero, back to survival mode, back to fear-based decisions. That $5,000 is not a reward, it is a foundation. The moment you spend it, you don't just lose the money, you lose the psychological shift that came with it. You lose the confidence, you lose the breathing room, you lose the version of yourself that was finally starting to think differently about money. Protect that foundation like your financial future depends on it, because it does. So here's your actual action plan. Step 1. Open a separate high-yield savings account today. Not your checking account, not the savings account attached to your regular bank that pays you basically nothing. A dedicated high-yield savings account that pays you 4 to 5% just to hold your money. Keep it separate so you're not tempted to dip into it for everyday expenses. Step 2. Automate a fixed amount every single month, even if it's just $100. Automation removes willpower from the equation entirely. You don't have to make the decision every month. It just happens. Step 3. Treat that account like it doesn't exist until you hit your goal. No checking the balance for fun. No mentally spending it on things you want. It is not available money. It is foundation money. $5,000 won't make you wealthy overnight, but it will fundamentally change how you think, how you decide, and how you show up in every area of your financial life. It's the difference between reacting to your life and actually designing it, between surviving each month and starting to build something real. Your future self is making financial decisions right now based on what you do today. Give them something to work with. Start building that foundation, because everything, and I mean everything, changes on the other side of it.